All right, this is Dan Petry. I'm here at the Hall of Fame induction speeches for Cabrillo High School. Here's Coach Lawrence. Yeah.
Welcome everybody to the 10th annual Cabrillo Hall of Fame induction dinner. My name is Rob Lawrence. I have the honor of being your MC this evening. And before we begin, can we all please stand and make the Pledge of Allegiance?
All right.
I pledge allegiance
to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. What a special evening it is for us. We get a chance to recognize the accomplishments of some amazing graduates and an amazing staff member this evening.
What's up, man?
Cabrillo's been in existence for about 60 years now, so tens of thousands of young people have gone through the school, and I'm sure you can all think of someone or someones that are worthy of being recognized like the people are going to be recognized tonight. On the wall to my left over here are the past winners from previous years, and we'll have another banner that will be added this year.
Right on.
As you were coming in, you probably noticed, or you probably hit up for 50-50 drawing. There'll be a drawing at the conclusion of the evening. And we have some guests that I'd like to introduce. We're going to begin with Susan Malone Morrison, class of 79 and a 2023 Hall of Fame inductee. And she's the president of the Cabrillo Alumni Association. And Susan would like to say a few words.
Yay!
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this occasion. On behalf of the Alumni Association, I'd like to say it's great to see so many of you here tonight, and I'd like to congratulate all the 2025 inductees into the Cabrillo Hall of Fame. And we're always asked, how do people get nominated, or how do you pick who is going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame? And the nominations the nominations come from members of the Alumni Association. So if you all know anyone that you think would be worthy to be nominated into the Hall of Fame, we invite you to join the Alumni Association. Also, once the nominations are submitted, the current members of the Hall of Fame vote on who the inductees will be for the new year. So, again, we invite everyone to join the Hall of Fame and, to join the Alumni Association, nominate some deserving Cabrillo alumni for the Hall of Fame. Yeah. And then I'd like to thank Ray Moore, who is the chair for the Hall of Fame, for putting this all together tonight. So Ray, thank you. And it's his birthday today, so everyone wish Ray a happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
And then we're going to say thank you to the Cabrillo wrestling team who will be providing the dinner and serving the dinner tonight. So again, I encourage you all to consider joining the Alumni Association. If you are interested, I have my membership committee here with me this evening, and they have applications and would be happy to provide them to you. So again, enjoy the evening, and thank you for being here.
Right on.
Thank you, Susan. As Susan said, this event is co-sponsored by the CHS wrestling team under the direction of head coach Mike Wallace and his wonderful wife, Michelle. And we have quite a few, looking around, quite a few members of the Hall of Fame, previous Hall of Fame inductees. Would you stand up if you're a Hall of Fame inductee? as I said before, it's a great event to celebrate our school. We've got a wonderful school here, 60 years of students graduating, tens of thousands of people coming through our school. And it's wonderful, and it's something, this is the brainchild, this is the vision of Ray Moore. This wouldn't have happened we wouldn't be meeting in heaven this annually without Ray Moore. And he will be speaking later. You'll hear from him often. We have a couple other VIPs that I'd like to introduce. The Lompoc Unified School District Superintendent, Dr. Clara Finneran, and her husband, Ray Jansen. And Dr. Finneran would like to say a few words.
Much for inviting me. I have attended this wonderful event each year that I have been the superintendent, going on 3. This will be my third time. Feels like 3 or 50, depending on, just talk to that guy. Congratulations to all of our inductees. It's always wonderful to read about you. It gives me such pride in what we do each and every day for our 9,000 students, and especially the students that attend Cabrillo High School. I'm on the heels of like the first week really diving back into getting ready for going back to school. We had 92 new certificated staff members that we oriented this week, complete with a bus tour around all of Lompoc and to every school. And congratulations, Mr. Grimness, because Cabrillo High School, when we go by each school, we ask, technically they're required, to come out of wherever they are and greet the buses of our new staff members. And Cabrillo really showed up this year. The band, the counseling staff, everyone who was here was out front, and that was really wonderful. Who was the, there was even your what's his name, on his riding lawnmower? Randy, yeah, he was even out there. That was awesome. So, as you well know, Cabrillo is a special place. I just want to remind you that you and we churn out graduates from this place that do amazing things. You well know that. Just last year, we had students that were accepted at Princeton, Stanford, Tulane, every UC, including UCLA, UC Berkeley. I think we had a West Point acceptance or
Quest a continuation.
Whatever. Yes, all of those things. So our students continue to do just amazing things. I want to just say thank you for the support that you show by coming here. And especially for those of you that live here, thank you from the bottom of my heart for the support that you demonstrate to all of our public educators and to our students. This is a really difficult time to be an educator. And our teachers, all of our staff members work so very hard every day for our students. And I just thank you for the support that you show to them. Thank you also for your support of Measure M. Cabrillo this summer received new flooring. The band room was redone, soundproofed. Several of our schools received new roofing. So thank you for your support of that. Again, with gratitude and just an invitation to celebrate tonight, I thank you for being here. And congratulations to our inductees. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Dr. Cabrillo.
How you doing?
Also back at the same table is Cabrillo Principal, Mr. Brian Grimness, and his wife, Courtney. Brian?
How you doing?
Thank you, Bob. I don't know, there's really much more to say. Just a big thank you to all of you here tonight. Your attendance tonight is important. It's important, it's wonderful, it's heartwarming, and it's also emblematic of the Cabrillo spirit and how Cabrillo has made an impact and continues to make an impact in our students' lives. And so grateful for all of you and all that you have done and will continue to do for the Cabrillo community. Grateful for all those that put on this wonderful annual event. recognize you, and we're looking forward to taking the new shield and adding it to our collection on the wall of the cafeteria here. It gives life and history to Cabrillo and to this space. And so grateful that that tradition has taken hold here. We have a new shield to put up tonight. So again, thank you all for being here. Congratulations to our inductees. You are worthy of this acknowledgement and this honoring this evening. And I hope you have a great night.
All right.
And finally, our athletic director, Mr. Derek Wong, has a few words to say.
There he is.
I don't think I have much more to add. Again, I appreciate all of you coming here. This is my third year as AD. I'm a 1985 Cabrillo grad, so Cabrillo is near and dear to my heart. I'm actually starting this year my 25th season coaching the girls soccer team here at Cabrillo. So again, a lot of the inductees tonight, some of those who aren't inducted were my teammates or my classmates, so it's extremely nice to see them again. And again, appreciate especially those of you who traveled to here. Campus probably hasn't changed that much since we were here, which is a good and bad thing, I suppose, that we're working on it. But athletics, our athletic department and our teams are doing what they always do. They do a great job, our coaches do a great job. We have over 20 coaches who are Cabrillo alumni on staff. So the spirit of Cabrillo is really still living strong in our athletic department. So again, congratulations to the inductees, and please enjoy yourselves tonight.
And I see that some of you are getting your food, go ahead and begin eating, but I've been asked to say a few words about our field project. Derek just mentioned something about the campus. You see a poster on your table. This is what the field hopefully will look like someday. And there's a committee that has been working for the last 2 years on raising money, a large amount of money, to make this happen. I have a few members of that committee that are present. If you're a member of the Stadium Improvement Project team, please stand up. Thank you. We got Ken Yankee, we got Brian Jory, Derek Wong, Dan Troop, Brian Griffiths, Dan Duffy, Sue Morrison, and myself. We've been working hard on this the last couple of years. Our athletic facilities are less than, I get a chance to travel quite a bit and watch my grandkids compete. And there's some amazing facilities around the state. Our pool, our team continues to succeed despite having a pool that is less than adequate. Our football team still calls Lompoc High's stadium its home stadium. Our track teams, men's and women's, have to compete and have a home meet on Lompoc Stadium. Our soccer team, same thing. Our band practices in the parking lot. We had a fundraiser last May. It involved something that was grown on the Cabrillo campus. I can't have it here, but we had we have wine grapes here, and we had a fundraiser that was very successful. And the main thing is that we were spreading the word about our project. And the Cabrillo Booster Club, we were able to house our money with the Cabrillo Booster Club. Wendy Knowles and Steve Haskins, thank you. We have a 501(c) status. I just received this evening from Coast Hills a check for $5,000.
Oh, cool.
We have something that's going to be, we're going to make an announcement sometime soon, something that hopefully will jumpstart this project. The main thing is that you spread the word. Spread the word about this. We have a great donor, and Danny Duffy, who put lights on the baseball stadium a couple years ago and made a huge donation. We need to find some alumni out there that are that generous. Anyhow, spread the word. If you know of somebody, if you want to make a donation, see me. We want to get that field going. Enjoy your dinner. We'll introduce our inductees right after dinner. Thank you.
All right, that's Coach Steve Lawrence. Developer coach for many years in the Hall of Fame.
And his wife, Michelle. Everybody's coming back in. To introduce our first inductee, please welcome Ray Moore, a member of the class of 1968 and a 2023 Hall of Fame member. Ray Moore.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor of introducing Coach Jesse Davis. Not being a graduate before Jesse came to us, I was impressed with his accolades. You can read those in the program. Over 30 years as a teacher and a coach, coached in 4 decades, won over 20 league championships at the varsity level, 6 CIF championships, which is, you win 1 CIF championship, you think you've got it made, and he won 6
Wow.
with his teams. Top record, and probably rivaled to be the best record in this valley as a coach and the type of person he is. And in track and field, you know that you start at one level and you plan to peak at the end of the season. Well, he figured out a way to do that. It's a special knack. And I'm not sure how he did it, but at the schools I was at, if we'd have had a chance to hire you away from Cabrillo, we'd have done that in a heartbeat. And you know, there's an old adage that says, good coaches impact games, great coaches impact lives. He's done that. He's had devoted athletes that just think the world of him. And I'd like to introduce, to speak for Jesse tonight, is his son Elliot. So Elliot Davis.
I appreciate Mr. Moore and the association here. Take a moment to talk to Mr. Duffy. Thank you, people that have been in contact with me and my family through this process. I will not be long, I promise. A lot of great people are getting honored. I want to give them their time too. The one thing I will say, to touch on what Mr. Moore said, is what my dad did focus on, and something I've learned from him as a coach, is impact. Like I said, it's not as hard as we make it seem to be a champion. And when you're competing, it does feel that way. But you can win. I've been blessed to win as a coach as well. But to actually change lives is something that he mastered more than anything else. And just by sitting here with some of you, someone that came up to the table, you can feel the impact that he was able to have. And then he's sitting way outside the classroom. Not only was he great as a coach, he was also a Crystal Apple Award winner. From somebody who has worked in special education, to be in a severe handicapped classroom every day, to go through what you gotta go through, never knowing what's gonna happen, and then to go out here and perform for these kids, and then still come home and perform and be a father, is Hall of Fame worthy in itself. And so I'm just thankful to be up here for him. I'm proud as a son. I want to say thank you to my mother, my wife, everybody here. You know, I know he wanted me to talk about the sacrifices my family made to support him, because it's just as important. What he did was not even able to be done without the support of my mother, because when he was out on the roads, he was with us and supporting us, and still took time to support him. So I wanted to say thank you all from the bottom of my heart. This is really a beautiful moment. And I'll just close with something that's very important in my heart, and this is nothing to nobody. It's just an important thing that I think we all can understand. It is so valuable for us as people to give people their flowers when they can receive them. We have so many great people here, so many elderly people here who've done so many things. And it's not necessarily about the Hall of Fame, but just take the time to say thank you. Take the time to say well done. Even if you don't think they understand it, it's more valuable when you think. And so that's one thing my dad always did, and that's the thing that I'm gonna finish with, is that he always took the time
And so I will make sure I always take the time. And the best way to honor his legacy and everything he's done, I just ask you to all take the time and give flowers to those who appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jesse. It was an honor to teach and coach alongside you for many decades. To introduce our next inductee, please welcome Hank Moore, a member of the class of 1967 and a 2019 Hall of Fame member.
First of all, I'd like to say that I was blessed enough to play every level of football there is. High school, junior college, and in the NFL. At no time did I have better coaches than I had here at Cabrillo High School. Coach Radford, Coach Long, Coach Knowles, Coach Jones. It was a very special place then, and I got so much more out of those coaches than I did through the entire career. So Cabrillo High School really does have a great beginning, and hopefully it continues. One of my good friends in high school was Mary Swan. She was a military brat like the rest of us. When she came here, she became the first drill team. And then her senior year, she went on to become a cheerleader. Everything that happened in Cabrillo, fashion shows, club stuff, everything she was involved in. And it's a very big honor to welcome her to the Hall of Fame. If you take a look at her bio, she has worked with some of the major companies in the country, some of the more famous people in the country. So she has definitely kept very busy. She was not able to be here this evening. She happens to be on a business trip in Japan. So she's still working at it. Her acceptance letter is, "I'm so sorry I'm not able to be with you in person to accept this most wonderful honor. To be inducted into the Cabrillo High School Hall of Fame with the past inductees and the special people tonight is truly memorable. Hank, Ray, Paula, it sure doesn't seem like it was almost 60 years ago when we first walked the sidewalks of Cabrillo." I don't know that that can be true, I'm not that old. I came to Cabrillo as a junior, having already attended 2 high schools. Something that many fellow students experienced over their years as we're all military-dependent children. Going to new schools can be challenging, but the students at Cabrillo welcomed me with smiles, outstretched hands. The teachers, administrative staff knew the challenges, and they made the transition seamless. Coming into a new campus was great. New lockers, new desks, new classrooms. Everything was beautiful, and the smell of fresh paint was everywhere. She doesn't mention that when they built this place, we displaced a lot of bees. And I think everybody in my class of 67 and 68 all got stung, because there were bees here everywhere. So she missed that. The school spirit was amazing. I made very special friends at Cabrillo. I'm still in touch with over 60 years, friends like myself, Vicky Halls, Donna Gorman, and others. I have experienced a lot over the past decades with travel, career, family, but I've also had a very special place in my heart, memories for Cabrillo. Another thing that Mary did is she also helped with some of our 5-year reunions, and I'm going to try and convince her to help us get a 60th reunion.
Wow.
So, thank you very much for having Mary Swan in.
To introduce our next inductee, please welcome Terry Thompson Westrope, a member of the class of 1969 and a 2018 Hall of Fame member. And And Terry is joining us tonight after traveling from the state of Florida.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just waiting for my 7 pieces of cake. So.
All right, I'll bring one to you shortly.
I just keep them coming.
Well, it is my indeed honor to introduce this next Hall of Fame recipient. I have such admiration for this lady. She has done amazing things in her life, and I am so proud to share some of them. If you look at her resume or her profile in the program, you'll see all the details. But I just want to say, as a fellow female that hit the glass ceiling a couple times, I understand some of what she's gone through, not to the magnitude she has, but even as the drum major, she had to fight her way because she was told that drum majors are male. And she was proud enough and tenacious enough to stand up and say, no, look at me, and she got it. And she did amazing things as our drum major. She was recruited, she got into lighting and found a passion in that, and she was recruited in 1981 by Walt Disney's company. And who knew that we went through, you know, what is the little one with the boats and the, It's a Small World. So as you go through It's a Small World with your grandchildren or your children, all that lighting in here, she designed. Any of those things that you went through, Thunder Mountain or whatever, she's on the design team. And I just find that ominous because she was one of the women that Disney's Imagineering recruited to use her expertise to do what she has done with Disney. She has been named the Lighting Designer of the Year, and she is featured in a book, and I know she has it with her. It is the Women of Imagineering. There are 12 women that have been profiled in there, and she is one of them. And she has donated a copy to the Cabrillo Library. So please read her profile. And without further ado, let me introduce to you Paula Dinkle.
Look at these old cheerleader outfits from the 70s.
I am so honored to be here tonight. I owe so much to Cabrillo. Whatever I have accomplished, though, I have not done it alone. I've had the love and support of my family and friends, co-workers, teachers, mentors, all powered by a strong belief in kindness and laughter and generosity. I transferred to Cabrillo in my junior year, and I had to put my military brat training to work. I was still heartbroken about having to leave my friends in North Carolina. My family said I cried on the drive all the way across the country. True. I knew that I would have to jump in at Cabrillo, and it didn't go so well at first. Then Tugas Campbell told me many years later that my classmates thought I was stuck up. I was just a little scared. But life has confirmed that I learned the most important things participating in activities, the school newspaper writing for and editing the poetry book, and of course playing in the band. Leading the marching band was thrilling, and it was a lot of time and effort. I learned a most important lesson from that leadership experience. They would follow me as long as I kept the pace, didn't make a wrong turn, and forged ahead with purpose and enthusiasm and encouragement. Most of all, showing my appreciation for their work. My dad had given me some advice that still works today, and he said, when you're scared, just go out there and act like you own the place. So all of that was put to use when I chose a theater career, where I also learned more about teamwork. 3 college degrees later, I had a lot of experience in lighting design and collaboration, which led to a long career at Disney Imagineering, working at theme parks around the world, from Shanghai to Paris to 2 of them in the United States. Being assigned to a design team was just the beginning of learning how it all works and how to be a useful and successful part of a project. Learning how to follow the leaders leads to being a leader, and now I mentor the next generation. So I owe this honor today to all of them who taught me how to lead and how to follow. Thank you.
To introduce our next inductee, please welcome Coach Dave Long, a 2015 Honored Staff Hall of Fame member. Coach Long.
My brother wrestled with this guy, Dan Barr. My brother was on the wrestling team with him. And Coach Brookhart.
Well, it's always a treat and thrill to come back to Cabrillo High School, because many that I see out here started when I started in 1966, and we were all here for such a long period of time. Every time we see each other on the street or others, the first thing we want to say is how much we appreciate it about being here at Cabrillo High School and having the chance to compete within the city, and we were pretty competitive within the city. Wouldn't you agree? So, my experience at Cabrillo dealt around certain athletes that seemed to have the desire to be in that same little cubicle wrestling room that the wrestling coaches were in. And I can certainly say that I wasn't real easy on the athletes, because the first thing they would say to me is, I really want to win a match. One match. And it took a little bit of time and ability to teach them enough skills to win one match. Then when they would say, I want to be a league champion, I would say, do you have any idea what it's going to take, Dan Barr, to be a league champion? And they thought they did, but they didn't. They spent more time in that little sweaty wrestling room when the ceiling dripped because of the time and effort. And all of you that were a part of that sport realize what I'm talking about. Thank all of you for the time and effort that you gave to all of us as coaches, because we did have a superior time here as teachers and coaches, so thank you. The person that I want to induct right now into our Hall of Fame was someone who started the sport a little bit late, that for several years, coming in as a freshman, he was very involved in weight training, very involved in exercising, but he wasn't sold on the fact that he wanted to come up and be with me in that wrestling room. But you know, by the time we had chats day after day, seeing him in physical education and talking to him, he decided he was going to commit and see who was the toughest, him or the wrestling room. And you know what? He decided that he became one of the best that we had as a heavyweight. Dan, could you come up, please, Dan Barr? He was one of the best. And certainly, sometimes wrestlers were
accused of being a little bit on the dull side. No offense, Benji, because you were pretty sharp. But this guy right here,
He was the only one.
a fine athlete. He was brilliant, and he went on to prove that in his career at the military academy and in the armed services. So, Dan, thank you, man.
Thank you so much.
You got it.
I still remain somewhat intimidated by Coach. I have to tell you that I am surprised and honored to be here. First, about the surprise. I'd like to thank Hank Cook, my classmate, for nominating me, and then to Ray Moore and the committee for their decision. And now about the surprise. When Hank called me about this, the first thing I said, and I put it in writing, I am not worthy. And I'll tell you why I said that. I kind of grew up in the shadow of a great Cabrillo athlete, my sister, Sharon Barr Spalding. Stand up, Sharon. She hit it at multiple levels, not only in the Cabrillo Hall of Fame, but after she left Cabrillo, our father was in the military, we went back to Virginia to go to school, and she became the first woman to be named the outstanding athlete at her university in a different sport. At Cabrillo, it was softball. At James Madison University, it was volleyball. And then, more recently, to be named to the Hall of Fame of her university, and has since retired as a professor emerita from that university. So now I'm going to fill in some gaps about Coach's story about me. When I was a sophomore at Cabrillo, I was 5 foot 8 inches tall and I weighed 120 pounds. And a group of us who lived on base decided that we were going to go out for a sport, and that sport was going to be football. But in order to go out for football, you needed to be big and strong. So we made a little pact that we would go to the base gym, and there we met this fella that was about 5 foot tall, who essentially was like a weightlifter in the military. His name was Henry Hernandez. He went on to become a world champion. He's still alive, and he lives down in San Diego and has kind of like a store where he sells weightlifting equipment. Anyway, we went there with this intent that we were going to lift weights and get strong for football. And about 2 weeks later, I was the only one left. At the end of that summer, when I came back as a junior, I weighed about 180 pounds and went out for football. And I tell you, I got a real comeuppance. I got hit by a man named Dallas Britton so hard that I had a concussion. It ended my football career. But there was this man, Coach Long, that saw a little something in me and came to me and about this prospect of wrestling. And I knew Coach Long was a serious man. And I told him somewhat reluctantly that, you know, I was making progress with this weightlifting. And he actually made a slight concession about my attendance of the practices so I could do my weightlifting. And I continued to put on muscle, and that first year that I wrestled as a heavyweight.
Heavyweight was only 205, I think.
And then the next year, as a senior, I cut weight and became the 191. But I have to tell you about the inspiration, not only my sister, but the early inspiration for getting into weightlifting. I think it's true. I was not in 4th period PE as a sophomore. That's where all the athletes were. And I heard that kind of the BMOCs on campus, Blameyer, Beers, Skip Clary, and others, had gathered down at the end of campus.
And there was a classroom down there that they had put in 2 weight machines. They were called universal gyms. And they had stacks of plates, and you could do it behind the neck, and you could do pull downs, and they had a leg press machine. Well, one day I must have gotten out of class a little early, and I wandered up there, this small kid, and I was peering in the door, and I was looking at all the BMOCs at Cabrillo High School, and apparently they were having a competition. And the competition had to do with the leg press machine. That machine had a stack of weights that was about this deep. And I think the bottom was 440 pounds.
Yep.
And the competition, I believe, was who was going to be the first to lift that weight in the leg press machine. And there was a fellow on campus that I don't recall as necessarily being an athlete. His name was Bill Shaner. And this guy was not very tall, but he had massive legs. And Bill Shaner was on the machine, and he kind of pulled the chair back slightly, where you could get a little bit of advantage. And he was kind of up in the top of the chair, and he pushed hard, and that weight started to move on up. And the guys were, they were around watching this thing as closely as they could. And all of a sudden, I felt a presence over my shoulder, and I was kind of stooped down, just looking in the side of the door, and I looked up, and it was this very nice girl. She was a tall girl with blonde hair, and she was just the sweetest, kindest person. But she was about 6 feet tall, and her name was Mary Lou McConnell. And she looked through that door, she kind of winked at me and looked through the door, and she says, "Do you mind if I try that?" And the guys looked back and they said, "Well, sure, come on in." She came into that room, and she took that chair and slid it all the way to the front, to the hardest position. Her knees were almost touching her chin, and then in one smooth motion, that weight went to the top, and I said to myself, I think I can do this weightlifting. So the conclusion is, you can start, and you might think that you're at the end of the game, and you can struggle along the way, but if you keep at it, you can get there. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. And to introduce our next inductee, please again welcome Mr. Ray Moore.
I have the honor of introducing Greg Young. You'll notice by Greg's accolades and accomplishments, he was a successful naval aviator, and then became this is not often we have 2 Professor Emeritus or Emeriti in our group. Being an offensive lineman, I'm barely able to say Emeriti. But Greg joined us. He was a leader on campus and a leader in school. And during the time that he was at the Naval Academy, he was working on his master thesis about the strength of the Soviet Navy during the Cold War. Well, somewhere between that master thesis and this book that he co-wrote called The Last Century, a man named Tom Clancy got the idea and wrote The Hunt for Red October, and they made it into the movie. So if you look in the book, Greg is credited with an inspiration from Tom Clancy. Greg currently is teaching at a university in Istanbul, Turkey, and could not arrange the plane flights from here. He was telling me what it is, from here to Paris, from Paris to London, from London to Houston, from Houston to LAX, and then somehow to get to Lompoc. So his letter says this: good evening and greetings from Istanbul. Let me first congratulate my fellow honorees. I am privileged to be in their company. To those of you here assembled, I want to both say thank you and to apologize, because I sincerely wish that I could be there with you at this celebration. A rare teaching opportunity was too important to pass up. I am humbled to have been selected to the Cabrillo High School Hall of Fame. My short 2 years at Cabrillo shaped me and my future in more ways than I can possibly account for in these brief remarks. Many achievements I have had must be traced back to these several sienna-colored buildings and the mentors that they contained. I am equally humbled to be the first representative of the class of 1971 to be honored. I believe that there are many others equally deserving. Unfortunately, I think the most well-known accomplishment for the class of 71 was to be the first senior class in our history to lose to Lompoc in football. I want to thank the Hall of Fame Selection Committee who have organized this evening, handled the Hall of Fame selections, and continued to support Cabrillo in many ways through the Alumni Association. I especially want to say a special thanks to Steve Straight, my 6th grade teacher at Vandenberg, who nominated me for the select club, and also reading Kafka's Metamorphosis out loud to us at an inquisitive young age. Finally, I must thank my parents, one career military man and one career teacher, who I have tried to emulate in my 2 careers. They get credit for producing not one, but 2 Cabrillo Hall of Famers. I have the privilege of joining my sister Karen from the class of 1967. Enjoy the celebration, and thank you again. Greg.
To introduce our next inductee, please welcome Joel Jory, current principal of Vandenberg Middle School.
First off, let me start by congratulating all the current and past inductees to the Cabrillo Hall of Fame. I'm Joel Jory, class of 88. With me is Corey McIntyre, class of 89. We are here to introduce our lifelong friend and competitor, Hall of Fame inductee Steve Long. Steve's athletic career here at Cabrillo, Cuesta College, and Pepperdine University was impressive. And you can read about all his accolades and his accomplishments in the bio. I'm here to tell the story of what helped shape Steve into the athlete and person he has become. And that story can't be told without the 3 of us in the room. We had the privilege, as many people in this room, of spending our younger years with free reign of Vandenberg Village. From the market to Muffin Hill and Buena Vista to the boonies, we could find adventure and mischief just about anywhere. No matter how our day started or the plans we had, it always turned into a competition. Dirt clod wars in the ditch, dunk hoops at Buena Vista. Yep. And I guarantee Steve fouled you before he let you score. Who in this room has been fouled by Steve Long and hit the asphalt at Buena Vista? I know there's quite a few of us. Kick the can in Boyer's front yard, or inner tube basketball in my backyard pool, which was really just an excuse for a battle royale pool style, which might have something to do with 3 collegiate water polo players. Regardless of what was happening, we always played to win. I knew if I left the Monopoly game for more than 10 seconds, Steve and Corey would fill their pockets with my money or the bank's money. Losing did not sit well with any of us. At times, Steve took the competition to a whole new level. He was definitely the daredevil among us. If it was jumping bikes, Steve would throw 2 more boards than any of us wanted to do. And we would watch him, holding our breath. He usually made the jump. Usually. Up at the cabin, if we took off on the rope swing from the dirt, Steve was on the hood of the Jeep. If we gathered the nerves to get on the hood of the Jeep, Steve was on the roof of the Jeep, finishing with a backflip, knowing his supremacy on the rope swing was established. Whether this was superior guts or lack of brain cells is arguable. Whichever it was, it played a huge part in his success as a wrestler. I wanted no part of the wrestling room as the sweat literally, as we heard from Coach Long, rained off the walls and the ceiling. And as a diver pulling off a 2.5 reverse, no thank you. To go with the daredevil attitude and competitive nature, there was also sacrifice. A lot of hard work that led to Steve's success. I can remember Steve cutting weight every winter to fit into a weight class that was best for the team's success. And that CI championship team was successful. I watched him pound weights in high school and at Cuesta. This effort and work helped move Steve from a small, and I mean small, perimeter player in water polo to a 2-meter presence that put a show on at the Belmont Pool. We won the SoCal Championships that day, and it was almost single-handedly done by Steve Long. Golden West had no answer to Steve Long. All of this helped to shape Steve into the athlete and person he is today. As friends, we are glad to say we were part of that journey. With special thanks to the class of '86, who was always waiting to pound us when we needed it. There were a lot of big brothers in that crew. We may have transitioned to golf. The competition and friendship remains. The journey is still going after 45 years. With that, I'd like to say congratulations, Steve Long. Welcome to the Hall of Fame.
It's always great to be here, and thank you to the committee that puts this on. It's an amazing event. It's always great to think back and reminisce, as we come back to this, and the thing that really caught me was gratitude. Just so grateful, and the community that we have here, we have pretty much everything. Some of the things I thought I was grateful for friends, grateful for the families, grateful for my mentors, and I was grateful for the rivalry. One of the stories I thought of was, when I was telling Kelly this, was when we were talking, is when I was 5 or 6 years old, it was the week of the Cabrillo High School Lompoc football game. My dad was a coach on the football team, and we lived up on Lompoc on Crestview Terrace. So we got word from one of our nice neighbors that somebody was going to break into our house the night of the Lompoc Cabrillo football game. So when we came home, sliding track door was off the racks. Luckily we had it wasn't ring camera, it was that wooden stick in the track that saved us. So my despise of Lompoc and the rivalry was early on. So very grateful for the rivalry. I'm grateful for the families. We had so many amazing families looking out for us growing up. I practically lived at the Jorys and the McIntyres. We played kick the can all summer long at the Boyers. We lit fireworks off on the Beatles' porch after we TP'd their house. That was, sorry Beatles. I babysat for the Knowles kids. I can't believe they trusted me. The Webbers, the Rosens, the Williams, the Lawrences, the Ferrudos, the Phillips. Every one of them left a mark on my life, and we're just so thankful. And hopefully they don't remember everything we did, but hopefully they at least remember that I blamed it on Joel and Corey when we were showing things up around the neighborhood. My parents showed me what investing in the community looked like, giving to others, doing the right thing, and the dedication and focus that it takes to be successful. It's not given, it's earned. Thank you, Mom and Dad. I'm proud to be your son. I was lucky to be coached by great mentors. There were builders of young men, Bob Boyer, Bob Lawrence, Dan Duffy, Don McIntyre, Bob Bradford, my dad Dave Long. These were strong leaders who built programs that demanded commitment, respect, and hard work. There were consequences when you didn't hit the mark, and trust me, I felt those a lot. But success and winning, those were the byproducts of hard work and commitment to doing the things the right way. I'm grateful for my teammates and friends. I had incredible teammates and friends who felt larger than life to me. I was a 5'3", 100-pound freshman, so everybody was larger than me at the time. Guys like Rob and Brian Boyer, the Abrahamson brothers, Jim McIntyre, Mike and Noel Finnessy, Vince Flowers, Dan McGahee, Sean Johnson, and so many others. And the one that I looked up to the most, the one I copied just about everything, was my brother Dave Long. He was the standard that I chased, and just, I hope to beat him up one day in a fist fight. Incredible big brother to this day. And then there were the two of the best teammates and friends anyone could ever have. Joel Jory and Corey McIntyre. Joel was my first friend when I moved here in 4th grade into the village. Corey came soon after, and from then on, the three of us were inseparable. Best friends, fiercest rivals, and toughest competitors for over 15 years. Everything became a competition, as Joel was saying. Board games, I was cheating all the time. Video games, home run derbies at the park, bike races, dunk hoops, Buena Vista. And when our parents finally got tired of us and kicked us out, we would go throw dirt clods at each other to relax. The one moment I'll never forget was Joel and I were sophomores at Cuesta, and Corey was coming as a freshman. And it was the first few weeks of the season, and Corey and I were guarding each other. And pretty soon, there was a few cheap shots that were sent, and then it evolved into a full-on brawl in the pool. The coach is going crazy. He's on the side blowing his whistle, and he hadn't seen intensity like this in years. The teammates were looking at us like, what's going on? As we got out of the pool at the end of practice, they were coming up, hey, are you guys cool? Are you guys okay? I'm like, yeah, this has been going on for years. And by the way, I gotta leave because he's giving me a ride home right now. So, just so amazing to call these guys my friends. And so amazing what they have done here at Cabrillo High School. I've coached for over 40 years in the aquatics. They've been to 3 CIF finals with their teams, won a CIF championship, and just come back and invested so much in the community. So to me, it's just amazing for them to be a part of this. Really, the final thing of gratitude is to the Cabrillo community, to the village, to Lompoc. It has played such an amazing role in my life. You've shaped me, supported me, and most of all, believed in me. I'm always proud of where I come from, and will always be grateful to the people in this community. So thank you so much. Really, truly appreciate it.
Thank you, Stephen. To introduce our next inductee, please welcome Dan Duffy, class of 1974 and 2017 Hall of Fame member.
First off, I want to give a thank you. I see some faces out here from the past that made a trip in here to honor Coach Davis, and it means a lot that you made the trip to come in and honor Coach as he sits here in this Hall of Fame tonight. As coaches here at Cabrillo, we have expectations. The expectations of our athletes, we expect commitment, we expect them to compete, we expect them to improve in their skills in the sports they've chosen, we expect them to be good students, and we expect them to be good citizens, and most important of all, we expect that they give their very best efforts competing against those guys that wear the blue and white down there. Because we all know it's fun to beat Lompoc. This inductee checked most of those boxes. After graduation, as educators and teachers and coaches, our expectations and our hopes is that our adult graduates find and explore their passions in life and make a difference in their world. Kelly checked both of those boxes with a huge, bold check mark. I don't want to waste any more time. I want to welcome to the stage a renowned hairstylist, businessman, entrepreneur, author, motivational speaker, nationally award-winning podcaster, and my friend from the class of 1993 and 2025 Hall of Fame inductee, Kelly Cardenas. Oh yeah.
Come on.
Like most of things in my life, I have no idea why they happened. And it became blatantly obvious in my 7th grade Christmas that I had an absolute unfair advantage in life. And it became that obvious because I opened all my presents, and when I did, my parents got me a Nintendo, electric racetrack, every toy that I could possibly think of and want. And my brother Rob, who's sitting back there, got underwear, socks, and a brush. And what it told me was, it told me exactly what he had been telling me my whole entire life: you're the golden child. So when I got the call from Ray Moore, I was leaving the car wash, and he told me you're going to be inducted into Cabrillo High School Hall of Fame. So I raced home and I got to my wife, and my wife wasn't out of bed. We won't judge her for that. I was up earlier than her. But I got to her and I said, baby, I'm getting inducted into the, and I almost whispered it because it was even that important, the High School Cabrillo Hall of Fame. And she looked at me and responded without any hesitation, just 2 words. So I went into my 16-year-old daughter, her name was McKenna, and I sat on her bed. And I said, hey, I just want to let you know, baby, Daddy is getting inducted into the Cabrillo High School Hall of Fame. And she hit me with the same 2 words. I walked out of the room. We came here to Lompoc just recently, probably about 4 or 5 months ago, and we still hang out with all our friends. Dale is there, and Will, my best friends from 4th grade, and Paula and Nate, AJ and Al. And we all hang out, and my brother stopped the party. We were there out at La Purisma. I should never be on a golf course ever, but I'm going to be on one tomorrow. And we were partying, having a good time, and my brother is my greatest promoter. He stopped the party, stopped the music, and he said, hey everybody, I just want to let you know that in August, Kelly is getting inducted into the Cabrillo High School Hall of Fame. And my friends, without hesitation, said the exact same 2 words. Well, see, these two words took me down an ego trip. I started to think, I want to be known, I want to be synonymous with these 2 words. When they put this up there, I want people to walk by, and I want them to say those 2 words every time they see Kelly Cardenas in the Cabrillo High School Hall of Fame. Those 2 words that my wife said, my daughter said, and my friend said, and even a woman today, and you can't make this up, on the golf course on the 14th hole, said the exact same 2 words. With the same expression, I didn't tell you. They all said, for what? For my entire life, I never knew why. I never knew why I had an unfair advantage. But I realized as I went down this rabbit hole, I started to ask myself, was it because of my audaciously subpar athletic career at Cabrillo? Is that why I'm being inducted? Is it because I lettered as a varsity equipment manager for the baseball team? Was it because I had a stellar C- average? But then I realized what the answer was. It was because of the love, the support, encouragement, and belief of Coach Duffy, of Coach Haskins, of Coach Knowles and Mrs. Knowles, of Coach Boyer and Mrs. Boyer, because of Mrs. Hicks, and because of that love, support, encouragement, and belief, I want to thank you all on behalf of every one of the 4 whats in this community that you have given an unfair advantage to. And I want you guys to understand that there are more 4 whats in this community than there are talented people like Steve Long. And I stand proud to be the first inducted into the Cabrillo High School Hall of Fame. For what? You see, when I finally got that answer, it reminded me back of what my pops used to say to me all the time. God does not call the qualified, He qualifies the call. And what every one of you coaches that I named, and every one of you in this room, in this Lompoc community, not Lompoc, Cabrillo community, what you do is you qualify all of us. And on behalf of that, my name is Kelly Cardenas, and that's my time. Have a great day.
That's pretty good. You can see why he's a motivational speaker. He's got the perfect voice.
Thank you, Kelly.
From the first word he said, it was like...
To introduce our CIF Championship men's swimming 200-yard medley relay team, and before I call him up there, it's going to be Jeff Hymas is going to be introducing this team. In September, Jeff, who's already a member, Hall of Fame member here at Cabrillo, will be inducted into the Hall of Fame at the United States Air Force Academy. Jeff Hymas.
That's pretty good.
Well, I'm not thinking for what. I'm thinking why. Why do I have to follow Kelly?
Yeah, that guy was good.
I'm here to introduce the first true CIF team champion Cabrillo's ever had. And what do I mean by true? There were no divisions back in the early 70s. All the tiny schools had to compete against the large schools. So when you won a Southern Section CIF champion, you beat every high school in Southern Section.
Right.
And to have you appreciate that, I want to take you back in time. It was a damp evening in March of 1972. Belmont Plaza Pool in Long Beach. It's an indoor pool. It was standing room only. The student body cheers were echoing off the walls. The noise is deafening. The 200-meter relay is 2 lengths of backstroke, 2 breaststroke, then butterfly and freestyle. And it's the first event of the evening.
Wow.
In the prelims that morning, with Phillips anchoring the relay, the boys took care of business, ensuring little Cabrillo was in one of the center lanes for the finals. My job? I was a videographer. My job was to get there early so I could be right at the finish line with the camera. And of course, as I'm sitting there, all around the stands around me are all these Sunny Hills parents. And I had to endure everything. The questions between them. You're looking at the program. Where's Cabrillo? In Lompoc. Oh, where's Lompoc? Way, way north of Santa Barbara. And then it got biblical. Can anything good come out of Cabrillo? So, 8 backstrokers hop in the water and grip the starting blocks. The frantic crowd finally quiets for the start. The gun blast, the screaming instantly resumes. Donnie is even with the pack until the turn. He misjudges the wall. The rest of the field takes one more stroke, are in and out of their turns quickly. Donnie is caught between strokes, desperately for what seems like an eternity, reaching for the wall. Donnie finally turns, but is now about 2 body lengths behind the leader. The Sunny Hills parents around me are giggling. Digging deep, Donnie ducks out the second 25, closing the gap by at least a half a body length. But Walt is still the last breaststroker to enter the water. But he picks up a quarter body length with a rocket-like start and a tremendous underwater pulling kick. With every stroke, Walt inches closer, ever closer, finishing just about a body length back. Gary is the butterflyer. Then comes the most miraculous swim I have ever witnessed. Gary takes only 3 strokes the entire first length.
Wow.
He's gobbling up the field and is close to being even at the turn. Out of the turn, Gary's first stroke is so powerful, so explosive, he blasts the head. By his third stroke, he's got about an arm length lead.
Wow.
He takes that lead into the wall, and then comes Noble, who holds that almost by-length lead until the turn. The field has caught him. Randy got reeled in. The cheering intensified, pleading for Randy to get caught. But it's too late. Too little, too late in the last 10 meters as Randy wins by an arm length. David has slain Goliath, and everybody in Sunny Hills knows that something good really could come out of Cabrillo. It's my distinct honor to introduce Cabrillo's championship team. Donnie couldn't be here tonight, but in relay order, I'd like to introduce to you Walt Heidmas, breaststroke. Dale Anderson, butterfly. And our 2 freestylers, Randy and Randy. Speaking on behalf of the relay is Brother Walt.
I'm like Jeff, why do I have to follow Kelly? But thank you everyone for being here tonight. Thank you for all of our fellow inductees for joining us tonight. Thank you Jeff, Bob, for running the show up here. Cabrillo Alumni Association, thank you dearly for inviting us here. And the Hall of Fame Committee for nominating us. Getting us here and bringing us together after 53 years is no small feat. There are a lot of replaced body parts up here, so it took a little while. We owe a debt of gratitude to literally hundreds of people, very much like our predecessors here to the stage. Foremost are our parents. Without their sacrifices and encouragements, our dreams could never have come true. All of us participated at some level of age group swimming at some point in our life, as young as 7, and in one late case, as late as 14. But regardless, our parents had to get us up through countless practices, countless swim meets, and sometimes carpooling with other parents, just to make sure we had every opportunity to succeed. And tonight, we recognize, thank you, that we did indeed succeed. So to our parents, we love you. In a lot of cases, we miss you, and we are eternally grateful. By some strange alignment of the stars and planets, our parents managed to find their way to Vandenberg Air Force Base, Vandenberg Village, and the surrounding communities, such that the 5 of us, Donnie in absentia, were here for the 71-72 swim season. We were lucky to have teachers, counselors, and administrators who not only supported us in the classroom, but assisted us in remaining eligible to make it to that swim. So we thank you all and your colleagues, for those of you who are here representing those folks. and for your significant contributions to our education, your assistance, and in at least a couple of cases, I'm not going to really point out, your persistence. Of course, every team has a coach, and we were blessed to have two extraordinary gentlemen as coaches. Coach Matt Dodson for the first couple of years, and then Coach Bob Boyer. During the 72 swim season, Bob Boyer was at the helm, and he encouraged us along the way through the year, great successes up here in then the Santa Barbara County League. And he was an NC2A swim finalist, if you did not know that. And he took his experience and imparted that to us to calm us down, keep us focused, and get us out there for the win. So Matt, Bob, and all of those who helped us in the pool, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Now understand, as it was intoned earlier, our pool here was really kind of like a large backyard recreation pool. It wasn't really designed for competition or practice or anything like that. So it took a little doing for us to be prepared for our races. But you have to think about this in one small way. Little Cabrillo managed to generate some firsts out of that pool. The first All-Americans that the school has ever had. The first CIF individual swim champion that Cabrillo has ever had. And as Joel and his mates pointed out, they had the first CIF win in water polo playoffs. And for those of you who can remember, between 70 and 73, we were in two different leagues. Santa Barbara County League, where we won the swim and water polo championship, the last one, we were there. And then we won the first Northern League water polo. All from that pool that you could scrape your knuckles on every time you come in from the shower to turn. Now, swimming in large part is individual, like many other sports. However, the athletic programs that we had, the aquatics program, pardon me, not athletic, the aquatics programs were successes, and they were driven by our very dedicated teammates. Our incredible teammates who were performing at their level best made many of these firsts possible, beyond what we did. So in dedication to our families, to our teachers, to our coaches, and to our valued teammates, we humbly and gratefully accept the honor of induction into the Cabrillo High School Hall of Fame. Thank you all very much for being here.
While they're having their picture taken, Walt just mentioned that the next year, because Gary on the far left and Jeff were juniors that year. I started teaching here in the next fall, in the fall of 1972, so I wasn't here when this occurred. But the next year, Jeff and Gary were on the water polo and swim team. Gary came to me at the beginning of the swim season. When I started teaching here, I went and foolishly bought a brand new 1972 240Z. Bright green, they made them in two colors, and I was really proud of that little vehicle. I paid $4,200 for it, brand new, and it was exactly half of my annual salary that year. Now, coming into the swim, a few weeks into the swim season, Gary came to me and said, Coach Lawrence, if I win CIF in the 50 freestyle, can I drive your car to the prom? And I thought, this is the 50 freestyle, all of Southern California, sure.
And Gary, you heard the story, Gary won CIF. And they had the dance, the prom was out on base. The 200 miles were driven that evening.
That's funny.
We have a 50-50 drawing. And Mike Wallace
I wonder where they went.
and the wrestling team, we're going to draw for that 50-50.
I wonder where they drove up to. That's pretty good.
Well, I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. It's nice to see all of you that I know. And congratulations to all the new inductees. Huh?
Are you going to tell us how much it is before?
I don't know.
Build up that.
$230.
$230.
It's going back.
It's going back.
It's a $460 split.
The winning ticket number is 60862-709.
It's a blue.
709 is the last three numbers.
I've got to have it. I got 100 tickets here, and I got 710, so I'll have to find it.
Take your time.
I've got 710, so I've got to have 709 here somewhere. What was it again? The number?
709.
I've got it.
A couple of thank yous before we depart. Thank you to Dan Petry for being our videographer again this evening. Thank you to Dan Troop, who's part of the Alumni Association, kind of a point man for Ray. Again, thank you to Ray Moore. And Dan's daughter Sierra does the program for us every year. It's a beautiful program that Sierra put together. And again, a thank you to the wrestling team, coaches and boosters, and our two alumni association. We would like all of the inductees, this evening's inductees, to come up here for a one group picture. And we look forward to seeing you all next year. Thank you so very much. Have a good evening.
That was good. Such a coot. All right, everybody, let's take some pictures. 1, 2, 3, Dallas Cowboys, yeah!
49ers!
Pretty good. That's pretty good. All right, this is Dan Petry Showcase 1 and 2, and that was, there's your Hall of Fame inductees, 2025. All right, peace, American world, enjoy. Pretty funny.